Hi everyone, it's Jen from Jen's Junk Journal Gems. Today I'm going to be doing a few final touches for a junk journal that I've made for a pagan friend of mine. She requested that I make her a junk journal with some moon imagery, owl imagery, nature imagery. So that's what I've created for her. I will be doing a flip through video, not today, but it is coming. But I thought that I would, while I'm making some journal tags and some additions to some of the pages in this journal, I thought that I would just video it, and for those that are beginning, you can see what the process is. So I did make a video yesterday regarding putting the charms onto a junk journal, but as I said, today I'm going to be doing some tags and some other imagery that I found on Pinterest. I've got these. Purple is her favorite color, so I'm probably going to use that as well. And I've also got this image here, and I've printed them on my Canon MX492. It works great. The colors are beautiful. What I'm going to do is, I've already done the cutting. I've obviously printed them off, cut them out, just for sake of time. You don't need to see me scissoring. And I've traced this image on top of watercolor paper. I like to use, and I'm going to be gluing that and using this as a journal tag, and I like to use the watercolor paper. I find it's just the perfect thickness for my journal tags. So I'm going to glue that on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this imagery here. Can just find my bookmark. Okay, here we go. This page needed something, so that's why I've selected this page. So I'm going to glue this image on here, and I think it matches really nicely, quite by accident. I didn't plan it that way, but it's got the same color greens and the purples that I've used in the embroidery thread on the next page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my corner punch, and I do have a video introducing this corner punch. I love it. It's the best one that I've come across. It's called the Kadomaru Pro, and if you look for the video, I can link it below. It hole punches 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large, and it's very easy to use. It's not hard on my hands, which I need because I have a muscle disease and it's like arthritis, and sometimes doing this work can hurt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not going to measure, and if you have watched my previous videos, you'll know how much I detest measuring. I'm not very good at it. I'll move this out of the way here. So I'm using Aleene's original tacky glue. I like to use Fabri-Tac. I use it not only for my fabrics but also my paper, and it's nice and quick drying, and it seems to be a little bit thinner than this tacky glue. So I'm just going to smooth down the lines, because sometimes when you leave the lines on the back of a paper, when you go to put the paper down, you'll actually see the raised lines. It's so cold in here. Oh, I've got the heater on, but it's just not helping. So I'm just going to eyeball it here. I'm going to start in the center and push outwards. I may have to, because it's so cold in the house right now, the glue didn't spread 100%, so I'm in all likelihood going to have to go back and glue down some of these corners. I'll just use my roller here. And if you've seen my other videos, you'll know that sometimes I tend to go a little bit overboard with the glue. So hopefully that'll dry nicely. And because that corner is lifted just a little bit, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on my awl. And just place it underneath there. This tool, I've used it before in other videos to glue down areas that didn't glue down right the first time. So it's not just for me anyway, it's not just for using to put holes in the signatures before you sew. All right. So I'm happy with that. That'll dry. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the journal tag for this page here, so it'll slide right in the pocket. Move that out of the way. Oh, now I'm hoping, like I said, because it's chilly in here, it's like -35 with the wind chill outside. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm hoping that I can spread this a little bit better because the image is black, and so it's going to show every little thing. It's not much better. I'm hoping it'll be okay. If not, you know what? If it doesn't work out, I will reprint the image. Now it's already a little bit wavy because of the ink, and this is just regular paper, so all right, let's try and see if we can do this somewhat gracefully here without getting glue all over my hands, which, again, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I tend to do that. Now, this glue I find is good. It doesn't dry right away, which is a good thing because then you can kind of make your adjustments. Oh, goodness, this is going to be a challenge. Oh, I've already got a wrinkle in it. Let's see if I can peel it up. Oh, for heaven's sakes. This is going to go from bad to worse. So I think what I'm going to do is see if I can get rid of the wrinkle with this tool here. Did a pretty good job. I mean, it's not going to be 100% unless you use a thicker paper in your printer and you don't have to attach a back to it. That would be another thing that you can do. So it didn't turn out too bad. It's got to dry, so we'll see. Any kind of overlap, I'm just going to give a quick snip. And I think what I'm going to do also, because it's curving a little bit, I think what I may do is put it under a book while it's drying. I think that's going to be the best thing. It's really hard to work with black imagery because black shows everything. As you can see, I can see a little air bubble in there, so I'm gonna weight it down, and if it does turn out well once this is dried, because I can see you know, the glue underneath, once it dries that may go away. I'm not sure. I might have to wait and see. I'm going to weight this down. What can I weight it down with? I'm going to put it in between my papers. There. And because the imagery on the back was white, I think what I'm going to do once that does dry is I've got some black ink here. I may just go around and smear all around the perimeter of the back, just so that it's not so starkly white. Okay. Next, I think what I'm going to do is, I like this image here. I gotta be so careful with this because it is catching and I don't want to rip it off. Okay, I think what I may do is, I may do this image here. Might glue that down. Now, I was going to make a pocket out of it, but it's rather high, and if I trim this down to make a pocket, it's going to take away from some of the imagery that I want to leave on here. So I think what I want to do is I'm just going to glue it down and cut off that excess, and then that way she can journal, you know, here and here. It gives her a spot, and that way it's just a little bit more centered as opposed to leaving it here and her journaling here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my ruler. I'm going to measure this here from the end of the paper, and let me see. It's going to be about 5 3 ticks. 5 3 ticks across. So I'm going to give a cut. I'm going to measure from this side because I want to cut on this side. I don't mind getting rid of some of this excess, but if I measured 5 3 ticks from this side, well, of course, I'm going to cut right into the moon, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to make a little mark here and make a mark down here and make a mark down here. Well, hubby's got the chainsaw going. I can hear him. He must be cutting wood. All right, let's make that line. I'll just give that a quick cut. And again, I can get my cutting tool out and do it with that, but you know what? It's just as easy. My scissors are handy. They're right here, and it takes 2 seconds. It would take much longer if I was fiddling about trying to get the cutting tool out. Now, again, if you see my other videos, you know I'm a little heavy on the glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a quick wipe, because I have, if you watch my other videos, I've gotten glue on some of the things I was working on, which is a bit disheartening, but anyhow, live and learn. All right, let that dry a little bit. Actually, I'm going to dry this and I'll come right back. Okay, everybody, I'm back. My surface is dry, and in the meantime, I was thinking, instead of using this tacky glue, which really is much thicker, and because it's chilly in the house, I'm thinking that that might have something to do with the way that it's spreading. I think what I'm going to opt to use is my glue stick for this next image. Now, I trimmed it off, and I'm just going to do around the perimeter. I'm not going to do all the way around because I don't want it all wrinkly. And that's kind of what happened with the last tag that I did. Now, it did dry okay. I took a heat gun to it and I've got it pressed between some heavy books, and I reprinted an image just in case that didn't work out, the original one that I've done. So I'm just going to eyeball it here. And normally with a lot of the things that I've done in this video, I've done the vintage photo edging around it, but because this is a darker image, I didn't want to do that because it's not really going to show up. Now, see, the only problem with the glue stick is that it really doesn't glue as well, because that lifted off quite easily. I may, in fact, have to, you know, before I give this to her, I may have to go and get some Fabri-Tac and, whoops, and re-glue. I don't know how I'm going to do this here. Glue down some of the edges that just don't seem to be gluing 100% with this glue stick. So I'm having a glue problem today, which of course isn't surprising. I'm always having glue problems. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you can leave me some comments and let me know what your experiences are with glue. I don't know. Glue and I just don't seem to be getting along well lately. Now that should do the trick. I really love this image, and I know she's gonna love it too. All right. Okay, I'm happy with that. That turned out really well. I may see if I have any kind of maybe washi tape or something that I can attach to that. And the last one that I'm going to do, I think, is I've got a succession of blank papers, kind of here and then here, here. So I was going to leave this blank for her to journal on, but I love the image that I found. Now where the heck is it? Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. You guys, I mean, it truly is a comedy of errors, these videos, let me tell you. They're a labor of love, but you must be giggling to yourself, thinking, oh my gosh. All right, I think that I'm not going to round the corners on this because it is a somewhat kind of darker image, and I like the edginess of leaving the corners like that. So I'm just going to glue that down too. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to give it some time with that journal tag that I created with the owl on it earlier in the video. And I think what I'm going to do is check back on it later, and I'll update you guys on what I decide to do with that, if it turned out well or not. And if it didn't, then I will redo another one. It's not a big deal. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it a little bit. What's important is that it's straight height-wise. And what I've done is I haven't put glue on the back of the inside of the image. As soon as you add any kind of glue, it wets the paper, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, when it dries, I don't want too many wrinkles in that. So I'm kind of happy with the way that turned out as well. And she's gonna love that image. I don't know, I might actually hand draw a vine, a black vine or something like that around there, just to give it some added interest. Okay, so I've got my 2 images glued. Let me just see if I have any, while I have the video going, if I have any washi tape that may complement this image. This one is far too wide. I mean, I could cut it, but I don't want that image on there. I've got this ribbon here with the keys on it. Let me just see here. This is part of the creative process at work. I don't want that one. And this one, you know, yes, it has the owls on it and that, but I just find it's a little bit too busy, the imagery. So let me take out this, the only ribbon that I have, and it's something that Luna, who's the girl I'm making the journal for, she gave this to me. Speaking of Luna, we had that blood supermoon last night, which was quite amazing. You know what? Yeah, I just might do that. All right, I'll keep the video rolling. I might do that here and here and see how that goes. All right, let me just, I'm gonna overlap the end a little bit here because I can always go back and trim that. And I'm just going to eyeball here, make a cut. Yeah, that worked out well, okay. And I'm just going to do the same length here. I think these scissors might need some sharpening. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to attempt to use the glue stick for this, which I should put the cover back on. There it is. Let's put the cover back on. I've got to go out and I've got to get some Fabri-Tac. That really is my favorite glue. Now, it's not like I don't like this glue. Just a little bead. It's not like I don't like this glue. I find it a little bit more challenging to work with, and I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. All right. That looks good. Oh, for crying out loud. Always with the glue on my finger. Always with the glue. That'll dry, so I don't think you'll see that. I don't know. Do you guys have a problem with glue like I do? I'm thinking that maybe it's because I haven't really been doing this. I mean, I've only been doing this for 2 or 3 months, and there's still so much that I've got to learn, little tricks and that, and that's why I enjoy the Facebook groups that I belong to for junk journaling. I'm just going to move this a little bit closer to me here. because that's when you're part of a community like that, you can put a question out there, you know, or a problem, or even just, you know, to share what you've done, you know, and get the encouragement from others in the community who also do this craft. All right, that looks a little bit better. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to take the piece of paper and trim. Oh, goodness. It's kind of a weird angle. Most of the things that I've done for these signatures, I actually did before it was sewn in. But what I like to do is, and what I was doing this morning, is just do a little bit of a flip through to see, you know, is there an empty space here? You know, is there an image that maybe I can put here? I think that that kind of finishes it off nicely. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right. So I'm going to pause the video for now, and I'll check back in and show you what happened with the owl tag that I was making earlier in the video, whether I'm going to use it or whether or not I'm going to have to redo it. My thought is that I may have to glue around the perimeter only, and then do black stitching around the perimeter of that. So I don't know, stay tuned and we'll find out. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I have pressed this, and it's still actually curved, and I've put it under a big stack of books, and I don't know if you can tell, but you know what, I'm just not 100% happy with the way it turned out. There's a bubble right here where I guess I didn't glue properly. Anyway, I don't really like the way that that's turned out. Got some crinkles here and everything else. So what I did was I printed the image off again, and I've already attached the watercolor paper, but this time what I did, instead of using the tacky glue like I did for the first one I did in the beginning of the video, I just used my glue stick and went all the way around the perimeter and then glued it onto the back here. So as you can see, I mean, if I hold them both up together, hopefully you can see the difference. This one isn't curled because I didn't put glue on the inside, and it just looks much smoother. So when you're doing black surface stuff, I would really recommend you doing that. So what I started to do here is just do a little bit of inking around the back. Just so it's not as stark, just to add that little bit of color. I was going to draw some images around the perimeter, but I thought better of it, and the reason being is because this is a journal card, so I don't really want to do too much of my creativity at the back here. I would rather my friend Luna, you know, if she wants to use this as a drawing card or journaling card or whatever, it's a blank slate for her. So that's the only reason why I'm not, you know, doing too much else to the back. So what I was debating is actually doing, let me get this card out of the way. I don't know what I'm going to use this for. I might just maybe clip the image smaller and use that so nothing goes to waste. But what I was going to do here, what I was thinking of doing is actually sewing a design around the back. So I know that obviously it will show around this back, but you know, yeah, there's going to be a design on it, not drawn by me, but she's still going to be able to use this space. So I think that's what I may do. So because I'm just going to adjust the camera here, bear with me. I am a total noob when it comes to sewing. So I do have a variety of stitches. This Singer Simple machine that I picked up at Canadian Tire for a little over $100 on sale is really great. It's so user-friendly that it's been actually easy for me to learn. Now I'm just going to, I don't know what kind of stitch I want. I'm going to try one of these stitches, and what I do is, instead of trying on the journal card itself, I'm just going to use a piece of paper, because I would rather see what it's going to look like on this piece of paper than, I'm just going to adjust the cord a bit, and then if I don't like it, then, you know, I'm kind of committed to it because it's going to be on the journal card, and there's no going back. And I've already done this journal card once. I do not want to do it a third time. So, all right, here. Let me just see what this stitch is going to look like, and hopefully all goes well. All right, so this is kind of like a zigzaggy. I guess I'm okay with that, but let me try another one here while I've got the there we go. Everything is so dry here because we heat our house with a wood stove, and so everything's dry, and I'm finding that these threads are sticking up and sticking to the machine because it's so dry. All right, let's try this stitch here. All right, I think I'm gonna like this one a little bit better. It's a little bit more detailed. Yeah, I kind of like that rather than just the thin stitch. So I'm gonna use this. So that's another little helpful hint. You know, take a scrap piece of paper and see what I mean about the static cling here? Oh my goodness, what on earth is going on? Yeah, to have a test swatch on a blank piece of paper is a great idea. All right, I see, that's wrapped right around there. Okay, hold on, I gotta pause the video and check this. Okay everybody, I'm back. Now I've started to sew here. So I'm just trying to get as close to the edge as I can. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up. Yeah, that's, oh, you know what, hold on, let me just do another stitch down. There we go. That's better, a little bit closer to the edge. Now, again, I'm a new sewer, so, and it's been really fun learning. And it's okay if it's not 100%. You know, it's handmade. You know, there's not too many people, excuse me, that won't appreciate if you are making it for someone. There's not too many people that won't appreciate your hard work and efforts. So, just gonna finish up this line here. gotta try and keep it as even as I can to the space that I've left down there. It's a little bit more than what I wanted. Excuse me. But like I said, I'm no seamstress. There we go. Okay, last line. Let me just, oh, I got a couple more stitches. There, that should be good. Oh, for heaven's sakes. All right. This is so disheartening. It really is. I don't know if I should change my channel to Trials and Tribulations of Jen making junk journals. It looks like I've ran out of bobbin thread. So what I'm going to do is, and I know you're all laughing, I mean, you have to laugh, otherwise I'm going to cry. I'm going to rethread my black bobbin and finish off this line here, and I'll resume the video. Okay, back again. I recouped that catastrophe quite nicely. I didn't realize that the bobbin thread was so low. So before you start a sewing project, it's always good to check, and then that way you won't have happen what I just had happen. Okay, no harm, no foul. And I'm just going to do the last little trim here. So that's what it looks like on the back side of the card. And this is what it looks like on the front side. So I'm pretty happy with that. That looks really nice, and I love this image. So let's put it in the book. I tell you, I don't know. I should warn people, I guess, at the beginning of my videos that if they want to see a catastrophe strike, whether it's glue or sewing or whatever. Now, what pocket was I going to put this in? I can't remember. And the new home for it is going to be right here. And I'll just have the owl poking out a little bit. All right, great. So I was able to show you a bit of sewing and how I do tags. And I'm just finished now, I think, with this. And I could do a walkthrough of this journal in another video. So I hope that you enjoyed spending time with me today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen, please hit the like button and hit subscribe, because I will be doing future tutorials on my channel. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye-bye.